The rhythmic clicking of the train wheels creates a soothing lullaby as we begin our long journey through the heart of the great snowy wilderness tonight. Inside this wooden sanctuary, the air is thick with the scent of aged cedar and the comforting warmth of a fire crackling in the corner stove. That winter, the train carried more than just passengers, it carried old dreams, starting with the simple, familiar sizzle of green onions in a hot pan. The sound of the oil dancing against the iron creates a melody of home, a brief moment of culinary magic in the middle of a blizzard. Every spark that escapes the hearth feels like a tiny star, illuminating the cabin with a flickering orange glow that defies the cold winter night. Wisps of white smoke curl lazily toward the ceiling, tracing invisible patterns in the air as the train pushes deeper into the silent, frozen forest. Outside the glass, the great pines stand like silent sentinels, their branches heavy with a thick blanket of white that sparkles under the dim moon. The carriage sways with a gentle, hypnotic motion, a steady heartbeat that reminds us of the long miles already traveled and the miles yet to go. Frost begins to bloom on the corners of the windows, delicate icy lace forming while the world outside remains a vast, rushing blur of dark shadows. In the reflection of the glass, the firelight dances across porcelain cups, each flicker a reminder of the quiet peace found within these moving wooden walls. A soft haze settles over the interior, softening the edges of the world as the train hums a low tune against the frozen iron of the tracks. Down below, the iron wheels bite into the rails, a powerful mechanical rhythm that serves as the steady pulse of this nostalgic journey through the Dainan. We leave behind a trail of light in the darkness, a temporary path carved through the snow that the winter wind will soon hide away forever. Each log sacrificed to the flames tells a story of warmth, keeping the biting cold at bay while we drift through this landscape of white and gray. The gentle rattle of brass and wood is the only conversation in this quiet hour, a language of travel understood only by those who love the rails. A frozen lake appears like a mirror of silver, reflecting a sky full of ancient stars that have watched over travelers for 1,000 winter nights. The air begins to shimmer with heat, the scent of boiling water and wood smoke creating an atmosphere of absolute comfort in this floating wooden room. Mountain peaks rise like giants in the distance, their snowy crowns glowing under a purple sky as the train winds its way through the narrow passes. A heavy wool blanket sits waiting, its thick fibers holding the promise of a long, dreamless sleep as the cold wind howls against the outer hull. A single candle flame battles the shadows, its light a small but defiant sun in the center of our private, moving world of wood and iron. Crossing high above the frozen gorge, the train feels light and ethereal, a ghost ship sailing through the mist toward a destination lost in time. The craftsmanship of a bygone era surrounds us, every joint and curve of the wood speaking of a time when travel was an art form. In the soft glow of an oil lamp, fingers trace the edges of a forgotten story, the sound of paper turning like a dry winter leaf. Handwritten notes in the margins whisper of readers from the past, their thoughts preserved in ink while the train carries us toward our own future. A checkered cloth and a vintage radio sit on the small table, relics of a simpler age where time was measured by chapters and melodies. Searching through the static for a voice or a tune, the radio dial becomes a compass leading us through the invisible waves of the night. The worn leather of the book is a testament to many journeys, each crack in its surface a memory shared with 1,000 different miles. Outside and inside merge in the reflection of the glass, where the fire lives among the pines and the snow seems to fall within the cabin. As the book closes, the silence of the room deepens, leaving only the steady hum of the tracks to fill the space between our thoughts. The moon rises like a silver coin over the ridge, casting long, blue shadows across the snow that seem to follow the train's winding path. A sip of hot tea warms the soul, the steam clouding the view for a moment as the heat spreads through the body like a glow. At the bottom of the cup, tea leaves settle into patterns of fate, while the world outside continues its cold, relentless march into the dark. A frozen stream runs alongside us, a ribbon of silver ice that reflects the stars and the moon in a jagged, beautiful dance of light. In the reflection, a face gazes out with quiet contemplation, wondering if the memories we seek are still waiting out there in the white Dainan. The lights pull back, creating a small circle of safety in the darkness, a tiny world where only the present moment and the tea matter. A pen rests ready to capture a thought, its ink a dark pool of potential on a journey where every mile feels like a new sentence. Birch trees flicker past like ghosts in the night, their white bark blending into the snow until they vanish into the thick mountain mist behind. A small circle wiped clean on the glass reveals a world of winter wonder, a portal into the cold heart of the great forest outside. With a tired head against the cool glass, the passenger watches the world disappear into a thick fog, as if the train were flying through clouds. The soft click of porcelain on porcelain marks the end of a quiet ritual, a moment of stillness in a world that never stops moving. Far ahead, the engine breathes fire and steam into the sky, a powerful beast of iron leading us through the labyrinth of the winter mountains. The steam trail glows under the moon, a white dragon hovering over the train, guiding us toward the dawn that still feels so far away. Shadows move in the corridor, silent travelers on their own paths, each one a mystery passing through the night on this iron road of memories. From the radio comes a melody from the 80s, its synthesized notes floating through the air and bridging the gap between then and now. The floor hums beneath our feet, a vibration that speaks of distance and power, muffled by the heavy rugs that line this cozy wooden cabin. For a moment, the clouds part to reveal a sea of stars, ancient light reaching down to touch the snow and guide our nocturnal voyage forward. Fingers tap a slow rhythm on the wood, matching the heartbeat of the train as it carries us further into the depths of the winter. The light dims to a whisper, inviting the shadows to stay a while longer as we drift closer to the edge of sleep and memory. The weather turns, and the soft snow becomes a sharp assault of ice, drumming against the glass like 1,000 tiny hammers in the dark. Melted snow runs in jagged lines down the pane, distorting the forest into a series of dark, fluid shapes that dance before our tired eyes. A sudden flash of light reveals the true scale of the storm, a vast white world stretching out to the horizon before the darkness returns. The contrast is stark, the cold blue of the storm outside battles the warm orange heart of the stove that keeps us safe and dry. Mist forms on the inside of the glass, a veil that separates the warmth of our reality from the frozen chaos of the wild winter night. A thin whistle of wind finds its way through a crack, a reminder of the power of the storm that rages just inches away from us. The train shudders as the wind strikes its side, a momentary tremor that makes the lantern swing and the shadows leap across the wooden walls. In the heart of the blizzard, the headlights are but two dim eyes, struggling to find the iron path through the blinding wall of white. On the shelf, an old television flickers with a snow of its own, the white noise and static creating a strange companion to the storm. Near the heat of the stove, a cat sleeps soundly, its peaceful breathing a contrast to the wild and restless energy of the mountain blizzard. Every purr is a small vibration of contentment, a rhythmic sign that within this wooden shell, all is well and the world is at peace. From the cat to the screen to the storm, the cabin holds 100 different textures of night, all woven together by the train's steady motion. This small space has become a universe unto itself, a collection of simple comforts that make the vast, cold wilderness feel like a dream. Ghostly images from old films haunt the television screen, memories from another time flickering briefly before being swallowed by the electronic snow of static. Snow piles high against the ledge, a growing wall of ice that tries to seal us in, while the train continues to cut through the night. A lazy stretch, a half-opened eye, and the cat returns to its dreams, oblivious to the miles passing and the storm that rages just beyond. The oil lamp sways like a pendulum, marking the rhythm of the rails with every tilt, its flame a steady anchor in the moving cabin. Shadows dance across the grain of the wood, performing a silent ballet choreographed by the twists and turns of the iron track beneath us. A pendulum clock counts the seconds of the night, its steady tick-tock a heartbeat that matches the pulse of the engine far up ahead. Midnight approaches in the heart of the mountains, a time when the veil between the past and the present feels thinnest on this nostalgic journey. Inside the clock, gears turn in a perfect, mechanical dance, a small machine keeping track of a journey that feels like it exists outside of time. Time feels different here, measured not by minutes but by the distance between the trees and the steady swing of the brass pendulum on the wall. A pocket watch joins the chorus of time, its smaller voice adding to the symphony of ticking that fills the air of our cozy compartment. The storm begins to catch its breath, the air clearing enough to see individual flakes of snow as they drift slowly toward the frozen earth below. A lone light in the forest signals another soul in the wilderness, a brief connection of shared winter survival before it vanishes into the dark. Glasses abandoned for the night reflect the dying embers of the fire, their work finished as the passenger drifts toward a different kind of vision. The world goes black as we enter the mountain, the sound of the engine echoing off stone walls in a deep, hollow roar of power. Emerging from the dark, the radio comes back to life, its orange glow a beacon of sound in the sudden silence of the snowy landscape. With a careful turn, the static clears, revealing a lonely piano melody that seems to have been traveling across the mountains just for us. Vacuum tubes hum with hidden energy, their warm glow the secret heart of the music that fills our cabin with a sense of nostalgic longing. The melody drifts like smoke, touching every corner of the room and bringing with it the ghosts of winters past and forgotten dreams of home. A sepia-toned photograph looks back from the table, a frozen moment of family and laughter that the train carries through the frozen mountain air. Those smiles belong to a different season, a summer that feels like a lifetime away while we push through this endless white Dainan. A gentle touch on the frame is a silent greeting to the past, a way of holding on to what is gone while moving toward the future. Keys to doors no longer used and a pine cone from a distant forest sit in a bowl, the artifacts of a life in transit. Blue wool and wooden needles wait in a basket, a half-finished scarf that holds the promise of warmth for a winter day yet to come. The wool rolls across the floor, a soft blue trail that mirrors the winding path of the tracks through the snowy valleys and peaks. Happiness, it seems, is sometimes just a small circle of warmth and a few precious memories kept safe in the middle of a winter night. The kettle begins to sing its high, sharp note, a domestic sound that grounds us in the reality of the small, warm carriage interior. Steam rises in a ghostly column, a white mist that fills the air with the promise of more tea and a few more hours of peace. A small, empty station flickers past, its platform buried in snow, a silent witness to our passing through the heart of the winter night. The engine's voice deepens as the climb begins, a heavy, rhythmic breathing that tells of the immense effort required to conquer the mountain pass. Iron groans against iron as the train strains against the incline, the heavy couplings holding us together in our ascent through the frozen world. We reach for the stars as we climb, the air becoming thin and clear, until the galaxy feels like it's just beyond the reach of our hands. The cold of the high peaks begins to seep through the wood, making our breath visible in the air as we pull our blankets closer. A seeking of warmth brings the cat to the passenger's lap, two souls finding comfort in each other as the train reaches the summit. The soft fur and the steady hand create a moment of pure, simple connection, a silent pact of warmth against the freezing world outside. From the top of the world, we look down at the vast, snowy valleys, a silent kingdom of white that stretches out into the infinite distance. The book is done, its journey finished, as the train begins the long slide down toward the valleys that wait in the mist below. From above, the train is a golden thread weaving through the dark fabric of the forest, a fragile line of light in a massive world. The whistle cries out to the night, a lonely, beautiful sound that echoes across the peaks and valleys, announcing our passage through the silence. The engine clears its own path, a spray of white powder marking the boundary between the machine and the wild nature it dares to cross. We enter the mist, and the train becomes a ghost, its light softened into glowing orbs that float through the white void of the mountain fog. The oil lamp flickers its final goodbye, its light fading as the night grows old and the journey begins to draw toward its quiet end. Sleep finally comes, a gentle wave that carries the passenger away to the same place the train is headed, the land of dreams and memories. Behind us, the tracks remain like a memory carved in iron, a record of where we have been in this vast, white wilderness of the night. The red light of the last carriage is a fading spark, a final pulse of color before the forest reclaims the silence we briefly interrupted. Around the curve and out of sight, the train slips into the embrace of the ancient spruce trees, vanishing into the secret heart of the mountain. The world is silent once again, the mechanical heartbeat of the train replaced by the eternal whisper of the wind through the snow-covered pine needles. Nature moves in its own time, a branch releasing its burden of snow as the only sign that anything has passed through this frozen world today. The moon hides its face, and the blue of the night deepens, preparing the world for the dawn that waits just over the edge of the horizon. Only a trace of steam remains, a white ghost in the air that tells of a journey taken and a story shared in the deep winter. The stars say their farewell as the long night ends, the journey through the Dainon complete as the first light touches the snowy mountain tops. May your sleep be as deep and peaceful as the snow in this forest, and may your dreams be as warm as the carriage fire. Wishing you a good night's sleep amidst the Dainon of memories. Rest well, traveler, for the tracks of tomorrow are yet to be laid.